Your diagnosis came shortly after you finished Splash. You know, you are very healthy, very active. It obviously wasn't something that you predicted would happen, thought you were at risk of.
It was a massive shock. And I had on my desk, you know, go and have your mammogram, and I'd left it a few months and I'd waited for Splash to finish. Then I thought, OK, I need to get that in, put it in the diary, off I went. So it really was a massive shock, a massive curveball in my life. But thank God I went for my mammogram.
And it all happened incredibly quickly, didn't it? They saw some shadowing on your scan, and then it was just the ball started rolling.
Well, that's the type of cancer that I was diagnosed with. It was lobular cancer, and it's not always found as a lump. So I didn't. It's not as if I found a lump and I went to have my mammogram. It was just a routine checkup, and it was amazing that they found it so early. It was 11 millimetres, so just over a centimetre. It was tiny, and it's a radical thing to have done, a double mastectomy for a tiny bit of cancer. But that was my choice. I had a double because I was given a choice, and I thought, let's just get rid of it, let's get on with life, let's move forward. And I feel incredibly blessed that I found it so early.
Like you say, most women, you know, are of the routine of checking themselves and think that that's possibly the first sign that something is wrong. You didn't have that. You were just doing something that you do every few years.
Yeah.
So when you heard that news, it just must have bowled you over. What was going through your mind when they said the C word?
I think the cancer word frightens all of us so much. When I was first told on the phone, I'm afraid it's positive, you have breast cancer, I mean, I couldn't breathe. And then I thought, OK, let's get this into perspective. You know, I've got breast cancer, we found it early, it hasn't spread, I've got to have an operation. Let's think of it as an operation. And then I thought, let's do something positive with this situation. And I'm an incredibly positive person. So I thought, let's use my voice to remind women and to educate them, have your mammograms. Don't be scared of them, have them. They're free in this country with the National Health from the age of 50, so why wouldn't you have it? Why wouldn't you want to find it early? And I think a lot of people were all so busy, you just put it aside and you think, oh, I'll do that another time. And then a year goes by and it's still on your desk, you know, have your mammogram. So I went to Breakthrough Breast Cancer and said, I want to become an ambassador to remind women to have their mammograms, because, as I say, if I hadn't had mine, and if I'd found it years down the line, maybe I would be fighting for my life. And instead, I'm not. You know, I'm sitting here, I'm still working. I feel great. I'm through it all now. I've actually had my second operation. I've had the reconstruction, because I wrote the article before I'd had that. And I'm back to normal life.
Was it ever a decision that you had to make as to whether to take it or public or not? It's obviously a very personal decision, and a double mastectomy for many women is a very painful, both emotionally and physically. But was it ever a decision you had to make to take this public, or was it always something you were going to try and turn around into a positive?
I think right from the beginning I thought, OK, I've got this, I have a voice, let's use it in a positive way. But I've left it this long. I was diagnosed in February because I didn't want it muddled with other things. I didn't want to be promoting Springwatch and be asked about my breast cancer. I wanted to make it a real positive. And as I say, I went to Breakthrough Breast Cancer and said, how can we do this best? How can I help you best to get your message out? And they said, well, let's leave it until Breast Cancer Awareness Month, which is October. So it seemed the perfect time to you know, just remind women to check their breasts, to go and have their mammograms. I
mean, obviously, the other high-profile person who's come out and said they'd had a double mastectomy is Angelina Jolie. And when she came out, there was, in the UK, almost doubling in the number of referrals to breast clinics. What do you think it is about women who suddenly, you see a public figure go through it and it triggers something, doesn't it? It just makes people think, perhaps that's something I should be doing, not part of everybody's routine?
I think people, you know, I've always been very healthy. I've always been fit. I've been vegetarian since I was 18 years old. I've lived a very healthy, fit life. So I think I'm probably, I don't tick any of the boxes. When I went to see the surgeon, I don't have it in my family. You know, I didn't tick any of the boxes that could be a problem for breast cancer. And so I think that's what awakens women. They think, oh my word, she had it. She's the most unlikely person. I better go and have my mammogram. And Angelina Jolie is an incredibly brave woman because she had it before she was diagnosed, because she of the, I've forgotten what the gene is called, the Barrick gene, or but I don't know.
Yes, I'm afraid I don't either.
Because she had the gene in her family, and incredibly brave, because it's a tough thing to go through. To have your breast removed is tough, you know, there's no doubt about it. It's emotional, and the emotion doesn't usually hit you until afterwards. It's very, you go into pragmatic mode and you think, let's get it in the diary, let's sort it out. Okay, do I have to cancel any work? And you're just like this, because that was certainly my way of dealing with it. And really, the emotion didn't hit me until a long time afterwards.
And you announce this? Obviously, you said you decided to sort of announce it later on once you're through the woods, and also so that your message is very clear. And you've put it out on Twitter about 24 hours ago now. What's the response been?
Unbelievable. I haven't even managed to get through all the tweets I've had back. I mean, you know, thank you very much to everybody that's sent me tweets, because it has been an overwhelming amount of support, and yeah, it's been incredible. And you know, emails and people that didn't know, and I mean, we've kept it quiet. I can't believe how long we've kept it quiet. I got through Springwatch. You know,
That's amazing.
Springwatch was about 2 months after it, and unfortunately, after I had the operation, 6 weeks later, I came down with an infection in the surgery area, which really knocked me. They put me on 22 antibiotics a day,
wow.
which floored me emotionally. You know, suddenly I fell apart, and so you know, I got through Springwatch without the public knowing, and it was tough because it was challenging. It's a challenging program. It's a live program. It's not an auto cue. You know, you need a lot of concentration, and I don't know. My mind was all over the place, and I have found that this year my mind tends to be not as focused as it maybe used to be.
But you've had your reconstructive surgery now, and you're feeling well.
I'm feeling great. I'm feeling really positive. You know, we start Autumn Watch at the end of this month, and I'm feeling incredibly positive and healthy and fit again.
Michaela, thank you so much for coming and sharing your story. It's incredibly touching, and obviously a lot of people have a lot of support and love for you, and they're getting in touch on Twitter. So thank you, everybody who has got in touch, and thank you very much for joining us this morning.